Today I'm here with my new client, Laureen Nowlan-Card. She is a women's empowerment coach, speaker, and podcaster. So here you are. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
You're my very first guest.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
For having me. This is an exciting day for you.
Yeah, well, it is. I'm so excited. So I want to learn more about you. I want to share your story with my viewers. So can you tell me a bit about yourself, what your business is, what you do, to make a difference in the world, in or outside your business?
Right. Oh, thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be your first guest. And let's see. I am on a mission right now to amplify the voices of women. So much in the same way that you are, I am finding that there aren't a lot of platforms for women and their voices, their alternative ideas, their thought leadership. And I feel that there can be more and more platforms for us to speak and have different ideas out there. So one of the ways that I am serving the community is I started a podcast called Women Leading Change. And the purpose is really to amplify those voices. And part of my journey in life has involved trauma and working with a lot of people who have been through trauma. I was I still am a Crown prosecutor, but I've been doing that for 23 years. And in the course of that, I come into contact with a lot of people who have had a lot of trauma. And what happens when you've been through trauma is there's a lot of changes. It changes the way you see the world, how you interact with the world. And I've met a lot of people who say there isn't a lot of resources, especially for women. And so I am foraying into that area to create a community, a safe community online for women to go for resources for trauma, and called Thriving After Trauma. And the view is to create that community for everybody there.
Exactly. No, that's amazing. I think it's really important for somebody like yourself who works with the Crown and legal stuff to really sort of use your voice as well to help elevate women and what they want to do. So is there a story behind, what inspired you originally to do the work that you do for Women Leading Change? Yeah,
well, my story, as I say, involved some childhood trauma and then a lot of exposure to trauma as an adult. In my work in the government, I came into contact with a lot of those people, and what I found is that there would be these magnificent human beings across from me who had been the subject, a victim of crime, and it would change their lives. And it would change who they felt they were. And yet there's a part of me that could always see the magnificence of them. And I wanted to be able to reflect that magnificence back to them. And so about 6 years ago, I became certified as a life coach. And I specialize in women's empowerment because that's where I find that I can make the most difference. I know what it's like to go through those kinds of things, and I can see the power and the beauty and the complete worth of all of those people. So that's why I do what I do.
That's amazing. So did you, have you had any challenges, or what kind of challenges have you faced along the way?
In my business or personally?
With the work that you do for Women Leading Change and possibly in your business?
Yeah, well, I think one of the challenges is just getting out there. Like when you first start something new, like you're doing here, it's challenging because so many kind of scripts and programs and conditions that we've been taught growing up make us feel like we can't necessarily shine our brightest. And what a lot of people find is when they go forward to do something they haven't done before, those self-doubts and the fears creep in. And you need somebody to give you a little bit of a boost and sometimes a little push to keep going and keep going. And then you're over the hump and you look back and you say, look what I did. I can't believe I did what I really wanted to do.
Exactly.
like you're doing today.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, if I hadn't had the push from, the amazing ladies in my life right now, I wouldn't be doing this. So I think what you're doing is you're giving women the voice or the permission to use their voice and elevate themselves and just, share their knowledge and expertise and how they want to make a difference.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
awesome. So if you, had anything to, advice to give to people who want to do something to make a difference in the world, what kind of advice would you give them? And also, how do you keep yourself inspired?
I keep myself inspired by tuning into myself a lot. I find there are a lot of distractions. There's so much noise on the internet. Sometimes I need to limit my exposure to that because there's so many different ideas out there. And I'm what you call a multi-potentialite. I have a lot of different interests. I could dabble in a lot of different things, but there comes a time when, for me, that I have to commit to one thing at a time to really give my energy to.
Stay focused.
Yeah, so to stay focused, it doesn't mean that you can't do a lot of different things, but you can't do them all really well at the same time. So, I do believe that we can have everything we want. We just can't necessarily have it all at the same time. So my advice would be tune into yourself. Spend more time thinking about what's going on inside you than you spend thinking about what other people think and what everybody else is doing. Yeah.
That's great advice. Thank you. So you're a recent client of mine. We actually did your photo shoot today.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, I know we hadn't worked together before, so I want to get a feel for how you felt about your photo shoot, before, during, and after. And, where do you see the value in that for what you do as a business coach and also a woman leading change?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was really nice to meet you. You're very welcoming and encouraging. So I felt really comfortable from the beginning when I met you. Let's see, before I felt comfortable, not really sure what you were going to want from me. So looking for your directions, you were very clear at giving directions. And I felt like you knew what you were doing and I could just follow what you were saying and I would get good pictures. So we had fun, we had a ton of fun. It was raining during portions of it and you didn't let that bother you. You just kept going and did what you needed to do to get the shots. You were also really open to hearing what I wanted because I wanted something a little different and you were totally open to that. Afterwards, I felt like, we just had a great time. I felt seen and understood and heard.
And I think that's what we all want, isn't it?
Yeah, so thank you. I can't wait to see the pictures.
Yeah, I'm excited to show you. So thank you so much for joining me. And I just want to let my viewers know that this is my very first foray into trying to make a difference in the world. And, we want to follow people like Laureen who are actually doing it. And so all it takes is one change and, putting yourself out there and doing what you love. And like she said, focusing and not letting yourself get distracted and just go for it. So thank you so much for joining me and visit my website for more emerging leaders who are making a difference in the world.